Host Madden doing an interview today. Special guest in the house. It's the lovely Empress Idama. Am I pronouncing it correctly?
Blessed love, correct.
Okay, I just want to make sure I get it right.
Yes, correct. Give thanks and praise. Honored and in awe for the opportunity to be here today.
Okay, good afternoon. I was told you're here from Ethiopia, but you have roots in Jamaica in the U.S. But I'll allow you to let the listeners know where you come from.
Well, we big up Ethiopia first. It's the land of our forefathers and our mothers, the land of our ancestors. So we big up and glorify Ethiopia, ancient motherland. That's first and foremost. We even put that before an island. We big up our country and our continent.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Well put. I was also told, in addition to being a singer, we just got through listening to two of your tracks. The first one being Ja Rastafari, one of your main singles that you're pushing now. And the second one we played was Foundation. Shout out to DJ Rich on the wheels.
Give thanks.
Okay, before we get into the actual music, once again I was told, in addition to being a singer, you're also an accomplished dancer. Okay,
Truly.
so before we get into the music, I'd like to expand on you, the artist, as a whole.
Give
So,
thanks.
so tell us about your dancing.
Right, studying traditional West African dance from from 81. I had the pleasure to study at Uhuru Sasa Shule, and actually after about 20 years of study, I then went on to start and establish my own traditional African dance company, which is called the African Love Institute. And it incorporates, it's an intergenerational dance company. It incorporates traditional African dance, music, songs. And actually, we actually show people how this tradition is a part of our everyday life. It's not just something that we perform on stage, but it's real.
Okay. Just to bring the listeners in a little bit closer and give them a little bit more of Empress Idama, what type of music do you actually, your company dances to?
What type of music? Specifically coming out of West Africa, from the ancient Mali Empire, countries like Mali, Senegal, Guinea, Mauritania, just the drums, the djembe orchestra. We use the traditional drums of West Africa. The djembe orchestra, the Katero orchestra, and the Sabar orchestra.
Okay.
Most recently, we've been incorporating dances from South Africa.
Okay. And mentioned being a singer and also a dancer, which one was your actual first love, I should say? Or which one did you start first?
First love. Well, give thanks and praise unto the Most High. I was gifted with voice. Yes, I've been singing from I was, 5. We sang in church choirs. We sang lead from an early age, and in church choirs. So that was my first, the first thing. Voice is the first instrument,
Yes.
right? So that was the first. But as I said, in the 80s now, I began to study traditional West African dance. I find dance is not only entertaining, but like song, it's healing as well. There's healing powers and energy coming out of the word song, the song, as well as the dance.
Okay, transitioning over to your music now. Does your creating your music play any role in your dancing?
Creation of music. Well, I definitely will say that I have been influenced by the study of traditional West African music, song and dance. That has been a great influence, as well as Nyabingi, traditional drums from, you know, the Nyabingi order. That has been a great influence as well. Music from the church has influenced me. And of course, the great ones, the icons from the reggae world.
Okay, so apart from dance influencing your music, there's also numerous genres of music that you draw from to create your music.
Absolutely.
Okay, now for our listeners once again, how would you actually describe the music that you're creating for the world?
Well, the music is for the world. My music has a little bit for everyone in there because of the different influences. Traditional West African, African music on a whole, Ethiopian music, music from the church. My music is very spiritual. And, well, I've studied a little opera as well.
Okay.
I've studied different forms of music. I've listened. Most recently, I've had an open ear to even music like R&B, hip-hop, and things like that. I can appreciate that. Why? Because of the message. If the message is positive and it's something to uplift the people, that's something that parallels my music and where I want to go.
Okay, so keeping in tune with the music now, we're going to let the listeners hear another one of your new songs. It's entitled Bundle. DJ Rich. Yes, once again, that's one of the pre-release tracks off of the upcoming project. That one was entitled Bundle. Tell us a little bit about that song.
Yes, well, that song actually, I was inspired out of what occurred at the Nyabingi house in Brooklyn. Let me see, we occupied the house for about 11 years, and family to the owner had passed, the judge, very famous judge with a lot of property. Maybe I shouldn't mention all the particulars. But anyway, this particular judge allowed us to use the Nyabingi house as our church home. And there was a court battle that came up. So this song came out of the court battle. In the song, I changed it instead of using the actual names, because we named the judge, the lawyers, and so forth. Instead, I decided to make it more broad-based and just Bun Babylon system in general.
Okay, the reason I asked that is because in listening your music, I can get a feel from every song that it was drawn from some sort of inspiration.
Thank you.
So that was my reason. And once again, these tracks are pre-release, but you do have an upcoming project that you're working on. I'll allow you to tell us the name of the upcoming project.
Yeah, well, Empres, Idama on the Rise. Those tracks are from a pre-release. So we're just doing some minor modifications, and we could look forward to the release coming out very shortly. If anyone wants to know more about the Bundem story, I advise them to go to the Slave Theater on Nostrand Avenue to get the particulars.
Okay, I'll definitely be looking forward to it.
And may I say, the first track, Ja Rastafari, also has a Nyabingi remix that I want to thank Ras Menelik for. And it also has a reggae remix. I want to thank my supporters right away, and that is Blase Music. Blase Music has been a great strength. Of course, K.L.C. first, and people like Johnny Cash. I want to pick up those people.
Okay, I want to touch back on that one particular track, because I noticed the extensive mixes that you have for that single. So it led me to believe this is one of your lead singles on your upcoming project. Tell us a little bit more about Jah Rastafari. Who produced that track?
Alright. It was produced by Blase Music. I wrote the track, and there's actually a piece of it that comes from Nyabingi chant. There's a small piece of it that comes from an ancient Nyabingi chant, so I borrowed that. And the song was composed actually in about an hour time, just through vibration, mystical vibration and powers of the Most High. We put that together. That's for the world. So we brought that in R&B style, Nyabingi style, reggae style, that everyone could relate to that.
Okay, and would this be your first upcoming collective project that you're releasing as an artist, or have you released projects in the past?
I have some releases, some songs that were released and were did very, very well. I received an honor with a song, Jaffarai. It was originally done, it was a live band, recorded with a live band, and it was coming from an album from Organic. And out of the 20 songs that were released in that album, this one song received international recognition from an independent recording label.
Okay, from what I've seen and what I've learned about you as an artist, you have received tons of recognition by way of some of your performances.
Yeah.
So tell us about some of your favorite performances as an artist, some of your biggest performances, some of the artists that you've performed with that you're proud to say that you've performed with.
Well, give thanks and praise. I was honored to perform with Crown Prince of Reggae, Dennis Brown, at Pegasus Hotel in Jamaica at about the age of 14. That was very exciting, and it was an honor to work with Brother Dennis. He has a lot of love, a lot of expertise, and that was one of the highlights of my early career. Most recently, I performed in August. We performed at the Chronic show. Chronics was in Guyana for a planted concert, and I was one of the artists that was invited from New York. So that was really major excitement.
Okay. With that being said, we are in the midst of a reggae revival now. I'm happy about it. Chronics is one of the artists spearheading that movement.
Truly.
How do you feel about this current reggae revival that we're going through? Because we've been through reggae revivals before.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about it in 2015?
Well, I'm happy. We look to the future courageously and confidently, especially regarding music, because we see that the music is upful, it's uplifting, it is encouraging, it's educational. You know, if we listen to the lyrical content of many of the artists, it's really educational. So it's almost parallels, we almost come into parallel the Honorable Robert Nesta Marley, I think, in a sense, because the world has an opening ear to what reggae has to offer. And the dibby music is there, but the conscious music is really on top. Give thanks.
Okay, and being an artist that draw from so many different genres to create your sound, it would lead me to believe that you have traveled the world and performed in different places. Where are some of the places that you have traveled to and performed that you would want the people to know about?
Well, I can remember traveling to Toronto, Canada on several occasions and performing at the Opera House. I've performed, of course, in Jamaica, at the University of West Indies, for instance, and the National Stadium in Jamaica as well. I've performed in England, I don't remember exactly the venue, and we performed with, what's his name? K.L.C.S. I toured with K.L.C.S. briefly, traveling quite a few states, and with artists like Culture and Lucky Dube. at the time, so that was a couple years ago. Well,
have you been able to return to Africa to perform as an artist?
I actually performed there. I didn't go to perform. I went as a part of supporting a young ladies, a women's rites of passage group. But we did wind up, you know, performing in Dakar, Senegal, and we got the opportunity to sing briefly, but to do more dancing.
Okay, I can honestly say that I see where you are, why you're afforded these opportunities, because sitting here speaking to you, I could feel the love. So it would be easy to afford someone with that much love opportunities to perform different various parts of the world. And with that being said, DJ Rich.
In Ethiopia we say Amasanganalo. Thank you.
Okay, I learned something new today. But speaking of love, DJ Rich, there's a track by the name of More Love that I've been playing for a while now. Can you play that so the listeners can hear?
That's one of my favorites.
I've been listening to it for a while now.